So, listen, most people are afraid to face their mortality, and so they don't think about it. And the very fact that you don't think about it means you don't contemplate it. And if you don't contemplate it, then you don't understand why you live. If you don't understand why you live, then why fucking be here? You need to look at yourself and your life and say, when I die and I become a quantum being consisting of information, self-created information, will all the other trillions upon untold trillions of conscious beings who have also passed from this universe into the real universe, the real reality, will you have left anything that will benefit them? If they lived your life, this is one of the things that I was basically shown, was the disc of beings around God. And it was infinite. I just say, like I try to think of infinity, I always use the term 5 light years. Because for me, that's people in a circle that's 5 light years wide. Wow. I mean, there's a lot of intelligent beings in that. And that they were segregated into righteousness and spirituality and just lack of the animal, more intelligence, more love and understanding for all life instead of trying to benefit from it. They give instead of take. They were closest to God. And then, like I said, we were out there on the outer rim. Now, all these beings can live your life. And you can live theirs. This is God's plan. There's no lie, there's no deception. There's nothing harms or hurts you. It's nothing but love and understanding. When you can live the life of someone that died a violent death, if you think you can learn something from that. If not, then no. But some of these beings can learn from that. That is a lesson. Your life has created lessons that are valuable to all life forms to show. This physical animal life is not good. It's to show, this universe basically shows that the animal let loose will always choose, to serve itself other than others. That it's very hard in this place to have advanced intelligence make it past a stage where they no longer take, they only give. They explore, they learn, they grow their knowledge of reality. And some of them evidently have learned to travel interdimensionally because that's the only way to explain some of the phenomena that we've experienced with them. Will they learn something from your life? I tend to think that the lessons, my life that I lived, would be of great value to many civilizations. I'm not so sure about really advanced ones. But ones that are like ours, I feel like, my life would be of great benefit to someone. That the lesson that my life teaches is worthwhile. That's what I say. I'm farming here to get ammo, boost my ammo. People don't contemplate their mortality. I'm truly surprised that I lived this long. I don't know if anyone will take over my pages when I pass on. I don't know. I like to say when I die again. All of this has been free, a gift for me that I had to pay for, and it was the payment was unpleasant for sure. But it was all borrowed time. Every minute of it. there's people out there I'm supposed to be telling this to, that you don't have to be afraid of your mortality, that it's part of the reason for living. The reason you fear death is just that instinct. We all fear that. I fear that. I've died, I've died before. I know what the process is. It's the same as everyone else that has a near-death experience. Okay? The majority of them, I can tell they're real. And then you have these others where there's these seekers of attention who have these fantastical stories that are all bullshit. You know what I mean? Yeah, I can tell they're not real. They're uh, they're a complete analogy for the misgivings of human beings. The only bad, terror, horror, hate, all that you take with you, and it's separated, and it's put right here, like the place they showed me, the room with the books, and that was just an analogy. It's like an information vault of some kind, and everyone is in there who like me was doing the loop, just looping and looping until I decided to change something. That was the revelation for me, was that every choice and decision we ever made was in the information that we know is being broadcast from somewhere outside of this reality. And that I believe that the holographic principle of reality, because it blends with what I was shown and told. That this information was already, I was before, during, and after the same entity. But it's like an egg and a spawn, and then a fish. There's a stage that you go through, and this is one of them. That fear of death is instinctual. I lost fingernails trying to claw my way out of the ocean. The second time I almost drowned. I came that close. Literally saw the going like this, and I pushed my hands out through that hole, and when I coughed, a stream of water came out. Right about then, the next wave hit me. Yeah, you have to contemplate it, because without that, why live a life that serves no purpose? Is this what biology is all about? Just random molecules assembling themselves into these complicated machines just because it can? I tend to believe that we are fucking ignorant. The most brilliant of our species are just fucking ignorant. That there's no bragging in our stage of evolution, okay, to what's out there. We're like minuscule little, we are literally like, pond scum to some intelligence out there that are billions of years more advanced than us. Actually, pond scum's many millions of years more advanced than the first life forms. At least pond scum has multi-celled animals. Yeah, contemplate your mortality. Life is short. I've lost friends in the last 10 years it was a total shock and a surprise. Shock and a surprise. You know what I mean? One of them died of a blood clot, and the other got hit by a vehicle, got hit by a truck right up here by my house. You never know. Young people. Okay? Contemplate it. Think about it. Don't be afraid of it. This is why people end up stuck in religious cults, is because they're afraid to face their mortality, that it is a process, okay? It's a process that we're going through for a reason that is too advanced for us to understand. We simply lack the number of neurons and fucking just biological maturation of the human species. Maybe in 1,000,000 years or 50 million years, if we make it there, if humans make it there, we won't be animals anymore. We'll be spiritual beings. And I'll guarantee you that the majority of beings out there that are 1,000,000,000 years more advanced than us either don't use bodies anymore, or they have artificial bodies that can do anything, anytime, anywhere, any way that would seem like fucking total magic to us. Well, I think I'll go to this galaxy over here and just instantly be there because you wish to be there. Now that sounds crazy, but I can tell you just 40 years ago, I thought this phone was fucking crazy. You know, an amoeba and a human, 1,000,000,000 years. Think about that. Contemplate your mortality. Don't be afraid of it. Think about what you're doing in your life and why you're doing it and why you're living. And is what you leave behind information-wise going to be of use to anyone here? And is your information that you take to this next dimension going to be of benefit or of usable knowledge or information to a different life form? If you have a totally different, completely different everything life form over here on the disc, because that's what it looks like. It looks like an accretion disk, like this with the sun in the middle, just like a solar system, except it's solid people, solid entities, okay? This being is so alien that you guys can't relate the way you think. Not just, I mean, like uber cultural, you know, like just so different that you can't even talk to one another. With mental telepathy, you might be able to exchange some sort of emotional content, but still, to them it would be like grunting to try to explain something to you. You know, they're so alien. That person can live your life there, and most likely will. And they won't know they did it until they get back. I often wonder, is this my first trip? Am I really me? Or am I some other being in the disc? And they're living my life. I've often thought that. Because that's exactly how it would be. You wouldn't know. This is why punishment is so bad there. Bad people who've murdered and killed other people, they will be murdered and killed. They will live the life of the people they harmed. And that's why when you look at people like Hitler or Stalin, you know, Saddam Hussein and his crazy kids, if you look at that, you will no longer be human, and the only way to rectify what you did is to live that lesson. Just like the other beings can live my life and learn a lesson, okay? You will live that life of the person you had stuffed in the stove, and you will be gassed and shot in ditches over and over and over and over and over. Every single human being whose life you cut short because you needed something, wanted something, and the animal was in control, okay? You will punish yourself. It's not like it's forced on you. Everyone does it voluntarily because you're no longer human. Everyone does it voluntarily. Nobody ever says no. You're no longer that animal. You're being bathed in love and understanding. The evil that you did no longer exists in your soul. Okay? Your information has now been separated from you and it's being cleaned. And that's why we relive those experiences that we caused over and over and over again. And I think just, man, that's about as bad as it gets. I mean, you know, you commit a murder on earth here, you can kill one person or 500 people and you're going to get killed. But the way God has set this system up is that when you go there, every person you killed, you will live their life from birth to death and be killed. It's just information playing out, but you won't know the difference. And see, that's God's perfect judgment. Because he doesn't judge us. He allows us to judge ourselves once we're no longer human. There's no hell in there. There is no hell. Hell doesn't exist there. Okay? Hell is the bad information that will be stripped from us. And then now that you have an opportunity or a choice, you will always choose to come back and relive and do what you have to do to have God. Because you'll be told what I was told. If you don't go back, okay, you can stay here, but if you don't go back, you can't have that. And I could have stayed there for 1 billion years. This universe would have just went on. That's why this confusing multiverse thing, why people think that that's possible. That's the reality of it, is basically it's just multi-time space pieces for us. Since we're on our own little slice of time space, I've explained that before. So when someone like Hitler ends up there, he's standing there, and now he's no longer a human. He's been transformed into a different kind of being. And he's surrounded by beings that are there to support this person, this new entity. And their information is now contained. And this contained vessel needs to be cleaned so that when you go to the circle that surrounds God, you're not taking any contaminants with you, like evil and hate and fear and all those things. You relive each one of those events until you've cleaned up your mess by experiencing it personally. Then you get to go to God. I had a job to do. I was supposed to talk to a certain number of people, especially ones who are susceptible to religion. There is a God. Or the ones who aren't susceptible to religion. There is a God. He's just, it's not, it can't be put in human words. I don't think. It can't be explained in any way other than it's just unexplainable for us right now in our stage of evolution. Leave good information.